You are listening to the Self-Trust Solution Podcast with Dawn Leday, episode number 115. Welcome back. Today we're diving into a topic that hits home for many: finding food freedom and learning to trust your body again. My guest today is Jane, a compassionate and knowledgeable coach who specializes in helping women rebuild body trust and understand the deeper reasons behind behaviors like binge eating. If you've ever felt like food has control over you or like your body is broken, you're going to love this conversation. Jane shares powerful insights and tools, including her unique concept of the 3 powerful questions to help you reconnect with your body and finally find a peace with food. Let's get started. Jane, you're an expert in helping women build freedom around food and body trust. What do your clients often share gets in the way of this?
A lot of times they say, I just don't trust my body. I've tried to tune in. I've tried to just eat what sounds good, and I end up just eating everything and gaining a lot of weight. Or I have no idea what my body is saying to me. And so that's really a lot of what clients say get in the way of just that food freedom and body trust, is just really this belief that they can't. They can't trust their body. They haven't been able to trust their body. But what I see from my perspective is that they've just lost the connection. They've lost that freedom and that trust that they used to have, that they simply don't have anymore. And the reason that they don't have it isn't because there's something wrong with them or something wrong with their body. It's literally that they stopped trying to connect. They stopped trying to see, what is going on? What is my body telling me? If you think about, there are very few people who, from a very, very young age, didn't have what one might consider a normal relationship with food, where you ate, you decided you were done, you stopped, you lost interest in food until it was time to eat again. Now, for anyone can really look at their own history and just look back. If you're listening to this podcast, look back for yourself. When did I lose trust in myself? Did I have trust? Even if I have to go way, way, way back to when I was really young, was there a time in my life when I did trust the signals of my body? When I wasn't clouded with what I'm supposed to eat, what all of the rules that the outside world told me about food? I think that really is the biggest thing that prevents people from gaining food freedom and body trust, is they believe they can't trust their bodies. They truly believe that they are broken. And so because my body doesn't work, my body's broken, I have to look outside of myself for the rules, for the answers. But actually, it is in the looking outside of ourselves for those answers. It's in doing that we disconnect, that we say, oh no, I'm actually really hungry right now, but it's not the right time of day. I've already eaten all of my calories or all of my points for the day. Or somebody said, if you eat after 6 p.m., then it's going to do all these really bad things to you. So even though I know, I can tell that I'm hungry, I'm not going to allow myself to eat. So we disconnect from the signals. We disconnect from what our body is actually telling us because we look outside of ourselves. So I really think that is the biggest thing that gets in the way. But what's beautiful is that your body is always trying to communicate with you, always. We've just stopped listening. So how do you do this? How do you start listening to your body again? The first way is to set the intention. I want to know, is my body actually communicating with me? Just tune in. You might even set a timer on your phone several times a day to literally just tune in. If I were to tune into my body right now, as you are listening to this podcast, just tune in, go inwards and ask, what do I notice right now? Is my body trying to tell me anything? Am I hungry? Am I thirsty? Am I a little cold? Am I a little warm? Maybe I need to go to the bathroom. Maybe there's so much going on in my brain right now. I just need to like go walk around the block. Your body is always communicating to you. But we have literally taught ourselves to stop listening because we've adapted and adopted all of these rules and this rigidity. And if I do this, then I will get the result that I want. But your body really is it is the vehicle. You are going to get whatever you get in your life, you're going to do it with the body that you're in. So let's start communicating and being with the body that you're in instead of being at war against it or hating it or thinking that it's broken or there's something wrong with you. If you can get on the same side of your body, then getting into food freedom and body trust is so much easier. In fact, I don't really think you can get to a place of food freedom and body trust without connecting with your body, without starting to see it as an ally, as something that is really trying to work with you. And when you can learn to listen to communicate, to work with your body, everything changes because now you're working with it instead of fighting against it. And if you think about any relationship where you feel trust in that relationship, where you feel free to communicate what's really happening for you, it's when you know you both have each other's best interest in mind. You are on the same side. The same thing happens with your body.
You mentioned binge eating as a symptom. What does that mean and how does it show up?
I truly see binge eating as a symptom. Most people see binge eating as the problem. This is the problem. Binge eating is the problem. We have to fix it. We have to start looking at the binge eating itself. We have to look at the food. If I just change what I'm eating, maybe if I just take these foods out of the house entirely, or I just stop eating these certain categories of foods, then I will stop binge eating. So they kind of tackle the problem at the binge eating. But I don't see binge eating as the problem. It's really the symptom. So the way that I like to see it is that binge eating is like the lights on a dashboard. Most people have driven a car and have had the experience of something's going on with the car and the lights come on the dashboard to let you know there's something going on. Maybe we need gas. Maybe we need to check the oil. Maybe there's something happening with the engine. But the lights come on to tell us, hey, we need to address this. And if we don't address this and you keep driving without addressing this light and this concern that's happening under the hood of the car, if we don't address this, at some point, this car is not going to operate like it is designed to operate. I see binge eating as the same way. So a binge is like lights on the dashboard. It tells us there's something going on. There's something under the hood that we need to look at. So the problem itself isn't the food and the binging. It's what's causing the binging in the first place. So what might that be? It could be any number of things. I've really, in my work over the years and my own personal experience of binge eating, I've identified 8 reasons, 8 things that might be happening under the hood that could be causing the binge eating to be happening. And the first reason is shame and judgment. Shame and judgment isn't even one of the things going on under the hood. I see shame and judgment as the 50-pound weight that's on top of the hood. We can't even get under the hood if that shame and judgment is there. But if we can remove shame and judgment and we can get into curiosity and compassion about what's going on, then we get under the hood and we might find things like a lack of emotional capacity, ability to be with your emotions. And if emotions feel too big or too intense, then sometimes we use food to try to get away from them. It might be nervous system dysregulation. It might be internal negative self-talk. It might be a habit. It may just be something that we've done over and over again. So there's a number of things that could be going on under the hood. That's really where we want to look. We want to get under the hood to see what's happening. When people just focus on the food and they focus on what they're eating or when they're eating or how much they're eating, but they're not really looking at these other factors. What's happening? What is my emotional capacity, my ability to be with any emotion? What do I know about my nervous system and managing and regulating my nervous system? What do I know about how am I speaking to myself inside? What does that look like? And there is one way that food plays a part in it, and it is restriction. If you are not eating enough food, it will be very hard to overcome binge eating, practically impossible. Binge eating can be a symptom of you just simply aren't eating enough food. So in that case, yes, it might have to do with the food. But I find most often there are other factors going on. And so when you're just trying to look at the food itself, it's kind of like putting duct tape over those lights on the dashboard and then just keep driving your car. But you're not actually addressing what's causing those lights to come on in the first place. So when we can look under the hood, we can address the root cause. What is causing these lights to come on? And what I find in working with clients and even in my own work, as I address these other things, these other factors that were leading to my own binge eating, the binge eating just like naturally falls away. It's not a fight. It's not willpower. It's not like, oh, I really want to eat, but I'm not going to because I know I'm going to feel bad. Like that whole thing, it's not like that. It's just, it naturally falls away because you're addressing what's going on underneath.
You have this unique concept of 3 powerful questions. Can you share with us?
I love this so much. The 3 powerful questions really brings in what we were talking about in the beginning about connecting with your body, about the way to get to food freedom and body trust is to connect. And the way that we do that is with the 3 powerful questions. The 3 powerful questions can also really help us get under the hood to see what's happening under the hood. It's not just, let me just look at what I'm eating or what I'm not eating or when I'm eating. We're going to get under the hood and we're also going to get in the body. We're going to get connected with the body with the 3 powerful questions. So they're very simple, very powerful, very impactful. Question number 1, what do I notice? So I was talking in the first question about kind of tuning into your body. If you set those alarms on your phone for periodic times during the day, or you can even do it, you could even pair it with certain activities. If you ask yourself these 3 powerful questions before any eating experience, you will end up eating in a more connected way. I see binge eating as a form of disconnection. It's a way we disconnect from ourselves. So the answer then, the solution is to connect with ourselves and to connect with our bodies. And we can do it with the 3 powerful questions. So what do I notice? Question number 1, you go inward. What do I notice? Do I notice physical sensations? What is my hunger experience like right now? And what am I noticing? Maybe it's a physical sensation. Maybe I'm noticing just a lot of thoughts swirling around in my brain. Maybe I'm noticing background noise. We want to tune inwards first, but when we say, what do I notice? There's no right or wrong way to do this. It's just a matter of tuning in to yourself, tuning into your awareness. What do I notice? Question number 1. The second powerful question is, what do I need? This is a beautiful question, and it's a question that most of us don't ask. So when you start asking yourself this question, if you have a hard time coming up with an answer, nothing has gone wrong here. It's because you aren't used to asking the question. So if you keep asking the question, you will start getting answers. What do I need? So it might be, I need a break. I need a snack. I need a meal. I need to just like turn off my brain for a little bit. I need to go for a walk. I need to call my best friend. I need a blanket. I need a shoulder to cry on. I need to get to work. I need to stop procrastinating. Like, what do I need? There are so many answers here. If you ask yourself the question and you don't get an answer, Just keep asking. It's only because this is new. It's not because you don't know what you need. It's just because this is new. So keep asking the question. So question number 1, what do I notice? Question number 2, what do I need? A lot of times what we've noticed, the first question will give us a clue into what we need. So if I notice, wow, I notice my mouth feels really, really dry. What do I need? I probably need a drink. What do I notice? I notice a lot of tightness, tension in my chest. What do I need? I probably need to do something to kind of relax that area. So maybe it's some deep breaths. Maybe it is just getting up and walking around a little bit. So what we notice will give us clues as to what we need. If we just ask, what do I need, without first checking in, then we kind of don't really have much of a thing to go with. It's kind of like, here's an example. It would be like going to a restaurant and not having a menu and having somebody come up and say, what would you like to eat? It's like, well, I'm not really sure what's on the menu. So if you're just asking, what do I need, but you haven't stopped to check in with yourself, it's kind of hard to know what you need if you haven't checked in. It's hard to know what to order from a restaurant if we haven't looked at the menu. And then step number 3, question number 3 is what's next? I love this question because it shows you have choice. You get to decide what's next. You've tuned in, you're aware, you've asked the question, you know what you need, what's next? So I might decide to go get a drink of water. I might decide to stop and take some deep breaths. I might decide to do something else, but it's my choice. I get to decide. I am now in awareness with what do I notice? I have also then asked the question, what do I need? The third question, what's next? What do I notice? What do I need? What's next? The 3 powerful questions that will help you begin to tune in with yourself, to gain that connection with your body that you have simply just lost track of. It's still there. Your body is still communicating with you. And when you ask the question, what do I notice? What is my body communicating to me right now? So often the challenge comes in when the body is communicating something we don't want to hear. Like, for example, if you're hungry and you think, I just ate, I don't really feel like I should be hungry, I'm going to ignore it. We don't want to ignore that. If your body is saying it's hungry, even if you've already eaten, you may need more food. If you've had a night of sleep and your body is like, I'm still really tired, you may need more rest. It is telling you something for a reason. Now, there's all kinds of additional work you can do to get connected and make sure you're really addressing your needs. But just asking the 3 powerful questions on a regular basis will do so much for you to start gaining that connection with your body that you need to develop food freedom and body trust. So start focusing more on the connection with your body. Ask the 3 powerful questions. This type of exploration and focus is so much more powerful than what you've eaten, how often you've eaten, when or where you're eating. Bring the focus back to you and what your body is communicating with you, and that connection, that is the basis for all of this work.
What will you take away from today's episode? Here are a few highlights that stood out to me. Food rules disconnect you from your body. Many women feel like they can't trust their bodies because they've been taught to rely on external food rules instead of tuning into their own hunger and fullness cues. Reconnecting starts with the intention to listen and trust. Binge eating is a symptom, not the problem. Jane explains how binge eating is like the lights on your dashboard, signaling underlying issues such as shame, emotional regulation, or even basic physical needs like actual hunger. Addressing the root causes under the hood, not just the behavior, leads to true healing. The 3 powerful questions. What do I notice? What do I need? And what's next? And finally, your body is an ally, not an enemy. Healing begins when you stop seeing your body as broken or against you and start partnering with it. This shift creates a foundation for food freedom, body trust, and long-term change. Thank you so much for tuning into this powerful and enlightening conversation with Jane. If there's one thing to take away, it's that food freedom and body trust aren't about external rules. They're about reconnecting with yourself. By asking the three powerful questions and treating your body as an ally, you can start building the trust and connection that lead to sustainable peace with food. If you'd like to learn more about Jane and her incredible work, check the show notes for links to her Substack, The Peaceful Eater, as well as her new book, The Binge Eating Breakthrough. Remember, the journey to food freedom begins with small, intentional steps, and you're capable of creating that freedom for yourself. Until next time, keep trusting yourself and living a life that feels aligned, whole, and free. The best way to get what you want is to grow your self-trust. And the best way to grow your self-trust is in going after what you want the right way. And the Self-Trust Lab is here to help you do just that. With the proven 3E success method, you'll cultivate unshakable self-trust while making what you want inevitable through practical tools, personalized methods, and master-level coaching. Let's turn self-trust into your superpower and success into your everyday reality. Join us today at theselftrustcoach.com/the Self-Trust Lab.